I'm Candy of Candy Photography here in the UK. I'm one of the Lensbaby ambassadors, and I'm going to talk to you, like a lot of people are today, about the Obscura lens, which is a new lens from Lensbaby. This is the 50mm Nikon mount one. I am a Nikon shooter, or Nikon, depending on where you are in the world. I will just say, when this came out, I was a little bit like, what? Digital? Does pinhole? Huh? Now, I know there's also apps on your phone that can replicate it, but one of the things I love about Lensbaby is that they kind of give you back that sense that you're using film, but so much, obviously it's digital. You get this sense that you're using film again. With film photography, which is what I originally learnt on, you have this whole tactile involvement. You load the film, you first of all start with selecting the film, unwrapping the film, loading the film, winding it on, processing the film, all of that. And with digital, you get so much removed. Now, don't get me wrong, you can sit in Photoshop. There's something absolutely wonderful about this lens. In fact, just something as simple as choosing the f-stop by winding it round. I just think that's such a nice little thing. It's just a personal thing for me. But when this lens came out, I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to relate onto digital, because one of the main things about pinhole is that it is the joy of having just a very clunky box or a very clunky like you make it yourself, right? With pinhole cameras, you tend to make them yourself. And I was a bit like, okay, let's have a go at this. Let's see how this works. I did not master it straight away, mainly because I ran off gun-ho. I was like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. No, it's a fabulous learning experience. So many times I would get a lens, I'd save up for it, or a new bit of kit, and I'd save up for it and I'd get it and I'd be so excited for it. And I'd be like, yeah, I got it, whoop, whoop. And then it's just like on Christmas Day, you get that present, you unwrap it, you love it for maybe an hour, maybe a day, and then the next day you've forgotten about it. Not with this lens. Now, I know you're going, oh, you have to say that because it's a new product launch. Of course you're going to say that. No, it got to the point with my friendship group that they started nicknaming me Obscura, because I was like, every time we're talking about it and grabbing it out for every shoot we were doing to try and keep seeing what else it could do. I love the process of learning how to use it. I love the random effects. I love the fact that there's so much that you need to take into consideration before you use it. I felt like I was actually being a proper photographer, as in I wasn't relying on the digital side. I had to rely on my brain. I had to really think about things. Simple as like taking the time out to clean my sensor. By the way, if you haven't realized you need to clean your sensor using this lens, yeah, you do. Otherwise you can spend forever in Photoshop getting rid of that dust particle. So cleaning a sensor, and then it wasn't limited like I thought it would be to like landscapes. I really enjoy using it for self-portraits. I totally fell in love with it for portraits in particular, because it has this kind of old vibe about it that wasn't contrived. It's very organic, and it's just wonderful. So today I'm going to show you some self-portraits just using natural light, some V-flats. So I'm going to take you on. Let's go. Let's see. Hopefully I do this okay, because I am not the best when it comes to teaching, so I hope you enjoy this. So these are the images I got on the day. I put the camera on a tripod, used my phone as a remote trigger, and I love that I was able to sort of change my position of my hands and stuff to create these great overlay images. I really love the quality of these, really do. So pinhole photography generally is thought of as film photography only, but this is where Lensbaby really come into their own. So they basically take the tactility, is that the right term? The tactileness of film photography and give it to you in a digital aspect. The whole process of it, even down to like how you change the aperture on this lens, is all about tactile. So you have to twist the inside, which I thought was amazing, which gives you that little bit of nostalgic film quality back, so you kind of have that same fun. Now, I will just say I'm going to do some portraits in direct sunlight, in the sun, to give you some sort of idea what it's like to photograph from that. These are self-portraits, and then I'm going to shoot some portraits at night with low light to see how they turn out as well. Top tip, tripod and remote shutter. You need to have this on a tripod. You can hand hold it if you really steady, but honestly, it doesn't really work. I did some portraits where I did some handheld ones. They weren't as great. Mainly because I needed quite a long shutter speed, so top tip for you all. But as you can see, the UK has just got one patch of sunshine today, so I thought I'd jump on with my Vote for Pedro, which, if you know, Napoleon Dynamite is one of my favourite movies. I'm wearing that, and my normal sunnies, because every now and then the UK has sunshine, and it is very temporary, so I'm just jumping on that. And I'm going to go and photograph this. By the way, check out the back of my jacket. So let's see how I get on. As you can see, the sun is... So I'm going to hide in my palm here, and I'm going to try and see this strong contrast of light. So what I'm going to do is I've got it on a tripod just in front of me, right there, and I am going to enjoy this. I am on, let me just go forward so I can reach you, f161, which is
massive. I know you're thinking, what? That's a huge f-stop. Yeah, it is. It is. But this is Pinhole, baby. And you're in for the wild ride of Pinhole. Remember, it's almost impossible to get it in focus. Live view may help you, but do you know what the fun is? This does not knowing how it's going to turn out. And I think that is something that's absolutely beautiful about digital, having this lens. So let's get some shots done and see how they turn out. Remember, Pinhole is an aesthetic that is loved by many, and it's not for those who want super sharp, but it has got a beautiful nostalgic sort of feel about it, and it is really well, I believe, translated into this digital format. So
once again, put on a tripod, camera there from my dog Elvis Houdini. I'm shooting on a Nikon, it's a full frame, it's actually my backup camera, so here we go. I'm going to use a remote shutter, and what I will say is high contrasting light really works here for me. I really love, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's my styling I went for, it's got a 70s vibe. It reminds me of those kind of photos that my mum and Nana used to take of me. You gotta love the grain. I personally embraced it, loved it, got a little arty with my posing there. But yeah, I really enjoyed these, and they proved really popular. One of my dog, that's Miss Frank, and then a selfie, the handheld one I spoke about. Hey guys, so it's a couple of days later, and I've been reflecting on the Obscura lens, and I just thought, do you know what? In this day and age, people are more cautious with their money, or I'd like to think we are. And so I thought, what could I do with this lens other than just take self-portraits, which was my first calling. Like, let's take some self-portraits, because it's something I actually enjoy, do all the time. And I sat there and thought, well, what else do I do throughout the day? Now, I don't necessarily use every single lens I own for every single portrait session I use. So it would be weird to then whack it out on every single portrait session, because you can see if you can take self-portraits, the next step is obviously taking portraits of people. So then I thought, you know what? Let's try what I love doing, which is night photography. I go around the local town where I live and thought, can it do it? Now, obviously, with the f-stops at the number that they are, we are going to get minimal lighting in here. So I knew straight away I needed to get a tripod. So I found a tripod. I say I found it, I must have found one in the boot of my car. So I got it out, and I walked along the street with my friend, and we set it up. And I tell you what, the amount of people who absolutely loved wanting to know what I was doing with this lens, and they're like, I haven't seen a lens like that before. And I was like, I can't really tell you much about it because, you know, it's not launched yet, but it's a really good thing. And if you check it out, you know, like you guys are today, you'll see it. This is neon signs of a local pizza restaurant near me, and this is the buses. I love this. It's got a very film noir vibe for me. I love them. I will say that I wanted to say I struggled with it, but I didn't. I kind of like the idea that I kind of guessed where it was going, and what I got was happy accidents. And it really felt like I was getting back to the film side of photography. Yeah, I was using a digital, so if it went wrong, I wasn't wasting loads of film. I could just delete and start again. I played with the different apertures that were available, and I found that actually I really loved them. They kind of had this gritty, nostalgic, film noir vibe. I really loved them. I really loved them in colour, and I also did a bit of shutter drag naturally because I had to expose the camera sensor for quite a long time. Got these great light sort of trails from the cars, and it was just fabulous. I hope you enjoy the images. I really did enjoy this lens. I will just say, I naively thought this was a kind of one-trick pony lens, and I wanted to just prove that myself, and I think I did it. You know, I did the self-portraits. Yes, it works amazing in high contrasting light, but if you want that gritty, kind of gritty, film noir kind of vibe, definitely shoot at night with this lens. I really enjoyed it, and just, you know, capturing the vehicles as they were maneuvering around in the night was just fabulous. And I am lucky that the town I live did have some great neon signs. I am going to use this lens a lot more, and I'm going to actually not use it so much for self-portraits. I'm going to see if I can do a lot more night portrait with it. Anyway, I hope you have an amazing time if you get hold of this lens. Enjoy all the videos from my fellow ambassadors. Really get out there and create. And I will just say, this is one of the lenses that definitely gave me that feeling that I was back using film. I absolutely adored it. I did have a love-hate being with, because I was frustrated that I was thinking too intense about it. So my top tip is keep it simple, and it really does give you that enjoyment of film photography. Overcomplicating it just made it just not work for me. It was so nice to have this really simplistic lens give me this beautiful, pure aesthetic, and it was just wonderful. And so my advice is just enjoy the process of learning how to use it. Sit back, let the lens will just kind of excite you and give you all sorts of interesting sort of effects, and enjoy it. Enjoy all the other videos from my fellow creators. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.